and then nobody signed up. But I was walking to the bus station, and then I saw one of them, and I was like, oh, so why don't you want to sign up for my research? He's like, nothing ever gets done.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
That's it.
Nothing ever gets done. You just... Nothing ever gets done from the higher-ups. The higher-ups are still the higher-ups, and nothing will ever get done. So we sat on the same bus, and then we came into the city center, and then I got off the bus, and I said, well, I mean, he started to talk to me a bit more, and I said, I know that you probably are in the system, but do you know that right around the corner, like how many feet away, this party gift that offers free therapy to Black people?
Okay.
Culturally sensitive therapy. It's like, you never heard about it. And I'm like, well, this is what I'm trying to get people's attention to. That there are actually organizations that support Black people.
Affinity Extra. Be extra.
Yes, people, this is Roger Moore here on Affinity Extra. We're here to celebrate gospel music of Black origin, but also you here on the Edge Show on an interview with my it's been a while still. Been a very it's been too long. Let me just turn up her mic because I told her anyway. So make sure her mic is hot. Yeah, I'm saying today because we got some hot topics to deal with. When you see is it Dr. Angel Kumar?
Soon.
Jeez.
In 2 years, but I'm already calling myself doctor. So.
Okay, definitely doctor. Listen, man, we need some doctors around about here, about this in this world anyway. So, but this is I'm on the stage with soon to be Dr. Angela Kumar. Really proud, really proud to have more Black doctors. I mean, growing up I never saw any. So we saw them on TV watching soap operas in America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when we saw Black doctors. But anyway, so it's beautiful to see that in our country in England. And but just to give you insight, guys, it is officially was Mental Health Day the other day. It was what day was that on Mental Health Day? Was Sunday. Saturday. That means it was the 10th. Yeah, 10th. Yeah,
10th of October. Yeah.
So 10th of October was Mental Health Day. Why was it in Black History Month? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're connected or something. I don't even know if that's a massive hint. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Dr. Kumar had a lot to do with that because she's trying to hint towards our community to wake up. But we are in Black History Month. Also at the same time, we something I spoke to Angela about before, about she's doing studies in the area, and she noticing that us as Black people are not responding to conversations about mental health that we should be. Now we're coming to a season, sis, where I'll be honest with you, if I don't do all what I have to do to protect my mind, all I see is gas bills going up. You know what I'm saying? We're coming out of COVID already traumatized. And on top of that, now we're losing jobs, and the gas bills are doubled. Sorry, I don't care what anyone says. That is, listen, you can pray over me all I want, I'm still going back to the same bills. That's the reality. You know what I'm saying? And even if you pay my bills, the damage is still there because I'm being stressed out trying to pay them bills. So Black, I'm specifically looking at Black people here because we are scared of the system because we've seen the destruction in the past to our uncles and our aunties, how we've been marginalized to this very day, how we get treated in the system. I get it. I see it. Yeah, I am frustrated about it. I am fed up of seeing us as Black people being used as a way of the marzipan companies. I call them marzipan companies. She's laughing because I'm taking a mick out of the medications that she studied. You know what I'm saying? The marzipan companies that are making money off Black lives because they're just throwing medication at us. Throw us a couple of names, sis. I'm just gonna give her a bit of a test here just to make sure she knows. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh, no.
So here's five medications.
Don't start with me, Roger. No, I've been out of the clinical scene for a while. Okay. So you can't remember any in it. Diazepam.
Oh, heard that one before.
Yeah.
Marzipan, and there's a. sorry, people. I had to get that one in anyway. So yeah, but that's the one that's major. I'm working with a child now. working with children. Well, I've been working with children. I've seen cases where they're threatening to put the injection in children. You know, the one that lasts for about 3 months in their system that calms them down.
Oh, yeah.
They're threatening to do that to 16-year-olds. Yeah, to this day, every day they're doing this. You know what I mean? And the child's cool. Just wants to stop taking his medication. So we got everything, people, to be fearful about. Black and mental health is one of the most worst combination out there.
Oh, yeah.
We have creatives as well. Very creative people are very known for their mental health instability. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it.
You could put it that way. Mental health problems.
Instability.
Mental illness. Mental illness is when you have a diagnosis.
So it's there's so much when it comes to mental health to deal with. We haven't had Angela on for a while, so we want to get back into the habit of this. She knows where the studios are now. We kind of built up, we repurposed the studios, and she's here in our studios right now and recording. So we want to get into this, man. And to be honest, guys, it's really important. But the main thing, guys, what I'm majorly concerned about is the stigma. And I've done this before, but about to bring in to reassert this, we've had Black Mental Health Day. No, we've had Mental Health Day all up in Black History Month, and what are we doing about it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, look, we've been speaking to each other from about mental health from Black people from before COVID leak.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Have you seen a better response from Black people now than before?
Nope.
Jeez, people. Sorry. I had to get it off my chest, man.
No, I haven't.
Right. So people, like, that's annoying. Now, I should be hearing it going, you know what? Why just people been starting to open up and whatever. That's all. It's not change.
No.
And guys, it's increased.
Yeah.
The pressure on our mental well-being has increased, and we are now bringing in now we have Black professionals in the trade of mental health. We've had Black professionals in the trade. What is going on? Talk to me, sis. Talk to me about what have you bumped into in reaching out?
Way too many hurdles. I'm half asleep right now because I have been walking through most of West Birmingham trying to get people to sign up for my research on mental health and mental health in the Black community. And you speak to a lot of people, and then they have a lot to say, but when it's like, okay, so come on my study and let's talk about it, they're like, nah, we don't want to talk about it. It's fine. I spoke to somebody today. He said, well, there's just too many mental health problems in the UK, and there's a lot of mental illness, and all he really does is, just sleep it off and wake up, and then he's fine the next day. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Wow.
But people do not want to talk about it. I don't know if it's more about talking about it with the research scene and then talking about it in just general conversations. It may be different if you're presenting it saying like the way I am when I'm saying I'm doing a research and it's about resilience, and I'm trying to understand how our culture and our arts and our sports and our music and our social support systems and family support systems actually support our resilience. People are like, yeah, it's cool. But they start to talk about Black people are united and Black people are divided and Black people, nothing gets done about mental health in the Black community. So why are we even talking about it in the first place?
Come on.
So maybe the bias may be because I'm introducing it in a research setting. So maybe that's why I'm not getting a lot of good feedback. I want to peg it on that and just assume that it's because I'm saying I'm researching. That's why people don't want to take part. But
then I see the black face and think, okay, cool. You get me, sis. You get me.
No, doesn't change much, honestly.
Wow, people.
It doesn't. People do say, oh, yeah, sounds interesting. Sounds really good. Yeah, take my number. And then I text them, and then, no, you don't hear back from anybody. So.
Oh, wow. I know you've been, now guys, now listen. And Andrew's being really nice with this still, yeah. But the reality show is that this is black ignorance, yeah. And I'm sick or tired of it. When I see in America now things are moving forward from my perspective, I'm not saying it's not bad. There's a lot of damage out there. And guys, listen, we are spending too much time looking at the damage and focusing on the damage. We need to fix it. We are now having people who are professionals in this area going in the system. We've had professionals in there for a long time now, and church as well. We need to recognize counselship from a secular viewpoint. Yeah, we can't, because sis, to be honest, we've got decades of people working in mental health, as you've seen. Afro-Caribbean people that's been there for decades, but yet in our church infrastructure we do not promote going to a mental health clinic.
No. Why would you want to go and talk to somebody outside about your problems when you can share it with God?
That's a good point, you know. That's a very good point. Why would you do that? Why you would do that? Because I feel like, for me, that's a very, very, listen, people, you know, that is a good point. Now that is there's a lot of trump cards in church. You know what I'm saying? We should use where God this, God that, God this, God this, God that, God that. But when they got a headache, they got to go for paracetamol.
Yeah. Or when they get a broken bone.
Yeah. And they're the first people to get the vaccine. Anyway, no, what say that? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, sorry. But
you just had to go there.
Yeah, and that's slamming pastor. Pastor, listen, yeah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. We get it, man. We get it. You have to cover yourself, man. Yeah, okay. But ultimately, yes, we it's like, why is mental spiritual? Now let's look at this. Yeah, mental health is seen as spiritual health.
Yeah.
And the only people the best person to deal with this is God.
Fair, yeah.
So as a Christian in the mental health scene, how do you deal with that? Because are you basically trivializing what we see as spiritual?
Not really, but I equate mental health with physical health, okay? If you went out and fell and then broke your arm, you'd give it time to heal, wouldn't you? Would you go home blaming God for how much he's neglected you and the fact that he doesn't want to heal you immediately and you have to stay like 6 weeks for your bones to reset? Will you be mad at him? I mean, for that long period of time, if you had a physical, you had a broken bone. Let's think about mental health in the same way. It's harder to sort of make that comparison because we can't see mental health problems or we can't see mental illness and it's not physical. So that's why we can't sort of put them side by side and compare them like that. But the same way you would go to a doctor for a broken bone and then you go through physio and then and
go through treatments and stuff. Yeah, got you.
It's the same way, same thing that happens with mental health. My church did a mental health series and I called it Broken Hearts and Broken Bones.
Okay, yeah.
And I tried to compare a broken heart to a broken bone, and you can't see a broken heart because the heart does not literally break. But if you were comparing a broken heart or your emotions being in a difficult place or you struggling to cope with a broken bone, how will you handle things? Yeah. And I mean, fine, we're body, soul, and spirit.
Yeah. So, no. I'm cool with. Listen, guys, I'm getting. I'm like, it's pro mental health. Now, okay, then, right. So, we're all in our homes and whatever this is. I'm sorry guys, I feel like I'm in a boxing fight right now because I'm just chomping people up, man. I'm going in for a count because I am so frustrated with this mental health problems that we have and the lack of resilience in our community because we're not willing to talk about things. Churches are still sticking their head in the ground like an ostrich when it comes to this issue. And the reason why I struggle with this immensely is because we have created an environment which we don't want to talk about these things. We make it seen as weakness, and there's so much of a barrier to break. It's absolutely crazy. People are too scared to raise up their head and say, yo, I do this to do this. I praise God that I was able to keep myself fit and in shape, and I didn't realize I knew it was, but I didn't realize the importance it's had for my mental health and my well-being. So my football project has turned into Clarendon FC, has turned into a well-being project effectively for young men and elder men to come together and play football together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I see my project, where before people be like, oh, it's just play football. Oh, you're just playing football. But it's a well-being project. Yeah.
No, but you see, I think when it comes to conversations about mental health and mental illness, it may not necessarily be always that we don't want to talk about it, but it may be the mode it's spoken about in, or the language that is used, or the way it's addressed. Okay. So in doing a lot of my research, I find that every time I Google Black mental health, there's a lot of negative statistics that come up.
Okay, got you.
Okay, about Black men are...
I'm going to Google, by the way, right now. Go on.
Almost about 4 or 5 times, maybe even more likely to be institutionalized. There's the whole big black and bad tag. Black women are more likely to suffer from depression. Black women, and then Bangladeshi women as well, South Asian women. Okay, there are lots of statistics that come up anyway. But there's very little conversation about how resilient we are as Black people, because the truth is that we have to struggle a lot. I mean, in a system where they can blatantly deny that institutional racism exists, even though we see it every day. Okay, there's so many struggles a person has to deal with.
Right, so guys, I've just done a Google search, as you said. Now, sorry mind, I know you do great work. You know what I'm saying, you know, but I've just put down Black men and I bump into Mind. Now, Mind is one of the top guys who work with men and women in the country. I've worked with Mind. They ones who exposed mental health to me at a level that I thought, wow, this is crazy. So Mind, let's have a look what you got there. Working with young Black men, evidence shows that Black men are far more likely than others to be diagnosed with severe mental health problems, and are also far more likely to be sectioned under the Mental Health Act. However, up till 11 years old, up until 11 years old, Black boys don't have a poor mental health and from other ages. Now, that's cool. I can carry on reading this anyway. So they're doing Up My Street. I actually helped out with that program there. So yeah, oh my goodness, I got the recording that I did as well from there. Jeez, yeah, that's the same project I did actually. And so the problem that you have here is this, is that straight away we're already looking down. You know what I'm saying? We already say. So you're saying that is a problem, the way they introduce.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Why is that a problem to introduce it? Isn't it like chucking facts at people, negative facts?
I think it's important to have a balance. Okay,
cool.
Talk about the positives and the negatives.
Okay.
It's true that there's a lot of higher statistics for mental illness within the Black community. But where's the conversations about Black people being resilient, or Black people having services, or not services, communal support or support within their culture or our arts and our sports and stuff like that make us more resilient? And that even though we may struggle with mental illness or mental health problems and may not be more willing to talk about it, there's still an availability of some support where you know that if I'm struggling, there's a cousin or a brother or a sister or an auntie or an uncle that I can go to and have a conversation with and laugh with and feel a little better, relatively. Or my faith plays a role, because faith does play a big role. Or I have my art and I have my music. I have my creativity that I can go back to. I have my food that I can eat because, or cook or do something that supports my mental health and well-being, and offer these alternatives. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but offer the alternatives that there are other modes and means through which Black people may actually talk about their mental health, or may actually talk about their struggles, without necessarily saying that I have depression, I have anxiety, I have PTSD, and putting a label to it. Because, think about the fact that we've been labeled all our lives.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody wants to have another conversation with somebody else that is going to put another label on them. And as you said, put them on a lot of medication and they're never going to come out of it. So I can understand the hesitation sometimes.
See, the reality show is that I've complained before in the past. I've said that, listen, yeah, okay, why up to the age of 11? Maybe they're not realizing the actual strain of finances, the strain of the inability for their dad to get a job that takes him out of poverty, you know. And I know that, you know, I mean, from what I've seen around, and it's, you know, that too often that majority of the time our white colleagues earn more than us. And when I say majority of people, I'm talking about 95% up to a very majority of the time. There is some affluent, and I'm sick and tired of people pointing at the odd affluent black guy. I get it. There are affluent doing well for themselves, black people, but the reality of the show is that we are still struggling and finding it harder to get jobs. And there's a lot of reasons for that within the community, but the reality shows some people are qualified, leave uni fully qualified, and can't get jobs because, you know, uncle doesn't work for that people.
Yeah, but Roger, I mean, you just spoke about poverty, and that's a huge issue. Let me go a little psychological and talk about Abraham Maslow's theory of needs.
Abraham
and you know
Maslow,
that triangle or pyramid thing he draws, and I think it's quite biased anyway. I don't know who the population was that came up. I mean, he studied to get that.
It was an industrial revolution. They did it at the time. I'm sorry, guys. I studied this at college. I did it at the time. I believe it was in the late 18th century. When it was the cotton mills and looking at the factories and whatever they're still. So around about the late 1800s, while they were relying on slave-free labor to do the cotton, but no one mentioned about that part. But anyway, let's not go there. But anyway, yes, it's gone. Sorry, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, but I'm not sure how culturally sensitive that theory of needs is, but we see that, like you talked about poverty, if the average black person has to struggle to get a job, has to struggle to get their basic needs of shelter, of food, of medical support, and, you know, all of the basic stuff that are right at the bottom there, how do you think that they're going to get to the top of self-actualization? What's the road for that to happen?
Wow. Sorry, so that's the point, you know what I mean. If you don't get there, you're forever kind of like going through you're fighting every single day.
It's a vicious cycle. I mean, look at lockdown. Okay, in Ghana, for instance, we couldn't go into full lockdown because we could just have 6 weeks because people live hand to mouth. Literally, people live hand to mouth, and people would not have been able to survive if we hadn't come out of lockdown. Unfortunately, that's the story for the average black person. We had to work the whole lockdown. We worked through the whole lockdown. So many nurses, doctors, bus drivers, delivery people,
youth work, care workers. Listen, care workers full of black people. You know,
the front lines were full of black people.
But who got recognized?
And they were constantly working. Where's the space to just basically sit down and think about your mental health?
Wow.
So you can't, I mean, as much as we do not have these conversations and we may hide behind our faith and hide behind church and hide behind you're not praying hard enough, there are actual real struggles that need to be identified. I began to realize this when I was like, okay, I'm going to be doing the study, and when we talk about black people and black mental health, it's all negative. But all I want my study to do is talk about the positives and celebrate black culture and be excited about it. And then I had one focus group discussion. I'm like, oh gosh, wait a minute. We can't be objectively positive about this because this is our reality.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
The services are simply not available or simply not culturally sensitive. So I can't approach this and be all excited or be all positive about it because that is not what people get to experience. They don't experience the positivity of having to be in the mental health service. They don't. There's no positivity in institutional racism. There's no positivity in blatant face-to-face discrimination and racism. So people don't want to, like, I mean, if you have to deal with all of these things on a daily basis, and me coming to have a positive conversation about resilience that you may not even actually notice is there, I mean, doesn't help you in any way. I'm resilient, so what? Does it put food on my table?
Wow, this is it, man. But guys, this is really real talk, and this is real painful talk, because and I think that, you know, there has been a few positive things. I think now we need to look at how we develop as people, because like you said, you go online now, and on one of the most positive companies for mental health, Mind, we see black people as the marginalized people that, you know, the more likely to do. But the question is why? Why is that? Because their image, thanks to BBC One Extra, of black boys is what? Criminals, madman, and whatever. And you can say what you want, you can cuss me all you want, but I'm afraid, what does rap portray? What's this? I'm not bothered about the style of music, drill, because we know there's Christian drill rappers, there's Christian grime rappers, there's positive music vibe people out there. I know that. But who gets pushed? Who gets pushed? You know what I mean? Push the guys that are literally, you know, I have youths, not black youths, white youths as well. Tell me about guys like Devilman. What do you know about Devilman? Yeah, sorry, he's a rapper.
Oh right, okay. Lost me for a second
yeah. You know, you can search him later on YouTube.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But just pray, make sure you do it before prayer. But wipe that memory out here. But anyway, but ultimately, and this is the problem is when you watch Top Boy, when you watch all these programs, you know what I mean, cartoons, animes, all these different things, they bring across a certain negative angle of a black man. So let's have a look at all these things. So Mind, I hear what you're saying, but Mind, can you step up and start talking to the BBC and saying, why do you do this? Now, what's sending us all wild is racism. Yeah. Now, what we do the football show, and it's helped us to get things off our chests as black men.
Yeah.
But the thing is, guys, the hypocrisy of the English system really annoys us, because one moment you're booing black players on the pitch for taking the knee, and then when you see it this week in England when they're playing Hungary, and they see the Hungry fans do it, they go, oh, it's a disgrace, should we ban them? Why don't you ban yourself? Because it's like it's like, yo, the system is saying, and this is probably the negative side of the system. The system is not dealing with systemic things. You know what I'm saying? You know, when
but if systemic racism does not exist after a whole report was written, I mean, why should they deal with it?
Yo, it's
Roger,
called,
it's not there. It's not there.
Listen. We call them. We got a phrase that I'm developing now on the stage, and it's this. Used to call them different names back in the day. We used to call them bounties. We used to call them Uncle Ruckus. You know what I mean? Back in the day, black people that basically sell out. But that's a very rude to bounty.
No, but you see, some of that research, the people who came out with it and said, we didn't say that. That was taken out of context.
But this is what I'm saying to you. It's called Afro-Saxons. Yeah? So when you see a black person that steps up, and Afro-Saxon, what defines Afro-Saxon? Afro-Saxon is somebody who functions as a black African descendant, as a in a European manner, in a European systemic way. So when so what, I don't know what it's like in Ghana. Do they teach about English history in Ghana?
Well, not really, not anymore. It's more about, well, we do have to learn about the slave trade, but it's more about Ghanaian history.
Okay, cool.
And
so
African history,
yeah. in the Caribbean, they'll talk about, you know, English history. Like, why? What the heck?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. You were saying because maybe their history got wiped out. But anyway, but ultimately still, yeah, we do systems that support European control still to this day. So far as concerned, the Afro-Saxons, you know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, we have Afro-Saxons right now working, whether you're from Nigeria, whether you're from Jamaica, whether you're from Ghana, whether you're from Montserrat, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you're from, and you're black, and you're there chatting, I'm not saying rubbish, but also ultimately supporting us. It's supporting the oppression of your people. You're Afro-Saxon, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if is that a nice phrase for them?
Afro-Saxon? I don't know. It's the first time I've heard it.
Okay, cool. So hopefully, if you find that rude, it's not my problem. You know, it's I don't.
Roger coined the term. Don't blame.
Yes, I heard it on a YouTube video, and a guy,
okay.
and the guy explained it beautiful. That is such a beautiful phrase. You know what I'm saying? Just basically a black person that's functioning in a European systemic way that actually it reasserts European negativity on black people. Yeah, the reality show is that the systems are in place that do not support the development of black immigrant people. But you have to remember, we don't owe them nothing. This is where we have to correct things. And historically, they have taken from our lands. They've taken gold from Ghana, and have they given you back yet? She laughed because she knows she's gonna get tribal war right back there. It's gonna get tribal. It's gonna get tribal right up in here. You know what I'm saying? There's gold, and I believe it's black gold in Ghana as well, isn't it?
I don't
Is
know.
that gold? Is that oil?
Yeah, we do have oil.
Yeah, you do have oil.
Yeah.
So sorry, that's black gold. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Okay.
so Ghana's got black gold, and they've got real gold as well, isn't it? You got
Yeah.
real gold as well. Not real gold, but you know what I mean. Got shiny gold. Yeah. Some of the gold went missing. Where is it? So shouldn't you meant to give back what you're taking?
Really? Is that how it works?
That's wow.
I had something very interesting today. Somebody was talking
they
about.
took 5 million people, and
Somebody was talking about the Commonwealth. One of the people I spoke with, like Commonwealth. Well, they brought all of you together. The people whose money they're stealing, they brought all of you together.
Listen, Commonwealth. Yeah, there was a Commonwealth. The wealth was up here in England.
Yeah.
It's absolutely but all these things, the problem is with the awakening for black people, sis. Yeah, it does trigger mental health issues.
It does.
Yeah, and that's a reality, people. And this is the problem with this awakening as a culturally. The problem is that we need to be each here for each other from a mental health perspective.
Yeah.
Because the reality show is it's very painful for me to see the people that smiling up with me are not racist. They're just functioning in a race oppressive system against me, and they don't care. It's very hard to handle. It's mentally tiring. Very, very tiring. You know what I'm saying? Because you're happy running along thinking it's normal, but when everything stops and you look left and right and you're seeing that your white colleagues are just having a nice life while you still have to grind, you go, hold on a second, what's going on? It hurts.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm beginning to understand that a lot because I'm straight from Ghana, and
Okay, cool.
where I'm from, I'm black, and everybody around me is black. So I've never necessarily had to think about
You're pure, sis, man.
racism.
She's pure.
Yeah, So I never thought that, I know what they're going through and I understand the struggle. That will be lying. But I can empathize because I see it in the system. And when I talk to people, try to understand their perspectives and actually try to offer some support, I see that, there's just such a huge wall up. And that's because people are a product of their experiences and are a product of their past and the things that they've had to deal with. So they don't want to have conversations about it. I was talking to trying to get a few young men to sign up for my research, and I handed out my flyers and they were like, yeah, cool, and then nobody signed up. But I was walking to the bus station and then I saw one of them and I was like, oh, so why don't you want to sign up for my research? He's like, nothing ever gets done.
Oh wow.
Ever.
That's it.
Nothing ever gets done. You just nothing ever gets done from the higher ups. The higher ups are still the higher ups and nothing will ever get done. So we sat on the same bus and then we came into the city center and then I got off the bus and I said, well, he started to talk to me a bit more and I said, I know that you probably are in the system, but do you know that right around the corner, like how many feet away, this party gift that offers free therapy to black people?
Okay.
Culturally sensitive therapy. It's like, you never heard about it. And I'm like, well, this is what I'm trying to get people's attention to. That there are actually organizations that support black people. And he's like, well, all they're concerned about is drugging us and putting us on medication.
That's how I feel.
And you read all of that, but this was the first time I'd actually spoken to somebody that said.
And there are people like there are things out there, and I must agree with you. That's kind of crazy. Cool. Now, here's a question to you. Yeah. Now, as a proud Ghanaian, obviously You're not the tribe that got infiltrated by the Germans, are you?
No. Well, no,
You
we
see,
are
like,
actually.
Is it?
We are. My tribe, the tribe I'm from, got infiltrated by the Germans. So we have like a bit of German ancestry, actually.
Okay, cool. So she might have some throwback in the future. So guys, so I watch too much knowledgeable programs, so that's why no one can get it past me. If you don't know, yeah, you know what I mean. But right, one of the reports that came out, we talk about systemic racism and different things, and we're looking back at mental health, because this is about trusting the system.
Yeah.
Now, going back to mental health. And I'm looking at I call them Afro slaves, looking at the African slaves, the ones from all the way in Argentina, all the way up into Canada right now, that are from Afro slaves. Now they've done studies to say that DNA could be continual trauma could be put into your DNA, can be etched into your DNA.
It's called generational trauma.
Generational trauma. Is that something that is that real talk?
It is. It
Oh wow.
exists.
Wow.
You
Okay,
find
cool.
Generational trauma in
Slaves.
yeah, and then in the Jews, and even people. I think I found a study
Whoa,
that was
what's Jews?
Jews.
Oh,
Jews.
Jews. Okay, Jews.
Sorry, my accent just makes it sound
Okay,
like it's orange.
I was like
juice.
juice. I was like, what?
Not
Beetroot
orange juice or apple juice.
You know what I'm saying?
Juice.
You know what I mean? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Jews.
that-
Okay.
yeah.
So
I mean, that had to go
because
be in
of
the
the concentration and whatever. Okay.
because of the Holocaust. There was one study I actually read about. I think it was American soldiers from the Vietnamese War.
Oh.
And then they studied the generations that came down from them, their sons,
Okay. Yeah.
especially through the men, and they found that there was passed on generational trauma.
So all right, and right, sis. This is crazy. That's the first time I'm hearing this. Yeah, like from I'm thinking I never looked at it from a Jewish perspective. So imagine now, guys, and this is a reality. Yeah, right. So for 300 years we're kept captive. Yeah. We weren't patted on the head. We were ripped to bits. We were tortured, killed, pillaged, raped, stolen, dignity. We don't even know who you are for 300 years. And then you get freed. And there's no deprogramming. There's no deprogramming whatsoever. 150 years ago,
There's no place to go back to.
So there's nowhere to go back to. You don't know who you are whatsoever. How on earth are you meant to move forward as a community based on that? And I think we cannot ignore that to move forward now.
No.
Now the thing is, we now have to backtrack and look at how we're going to rebuild our mental state from that perspective. We cannot build on 150 years, because for me, correct me, sis, please correct me if I'm wrong here and say, well, you're going a bit too far here. For me, what the church wants to do is just to move forward without looking back. Because I am not seeing collective actions I've seen individual actions, but I'm not seeing collective actions and dealing with injustices, of society on black people and moving forward. And we can't move forward until we deal with this past, this evil past. We're not dealing with it. And the thing is, the traumatic element of who we are as a people, colonialism, slavery, it's damaged our mental well-being. But you can put a report up there and says, oh, black boys, they're 5 times likely to have mental health issues. Whose fault is it? Why are we here? While you're getting bare money to do this, and you pay us chump change to do these reports and chump change to do these things, and then your big execs are getting paid big money. Yeah, what go on? Sorry, that's just me. Now she'll tell me off because Angela's seen all the execs in the mental health who getting 80k a year, who are black and they're doing really well for themselves. Okay, please forgive me, but was that rant to be out of order? She's laughing because she's trying to work out if she's legally allowed to say the truth.
Oh, Roger.
Was that a bit too far? Sorry guys. I don't know if this is the giggle of shame. You know what I'm saying? It's the giggle of shame, sis.
Roger has a point. I can understand it. I can understand his frustration.
But our individuals, like you said, your church, there's a couple of churches that do things. And guys, I'm sick or tired of people keeping giving me individual actions. We're looking for a collective voice, a collective action.
I think it starts from is debunking the thoughts that Christianity or faith is a white man's religion.
But it is.
Well, that can be disputed.
Yeah, no, it ain't. Bishop is dealing with this, man, and I think that the problem is there. But the problem is how you gonna debunk it's not a white man religion when white men treat it like it's a white man religion. So it can't be not a white man religion until white people realize it's not a white man religion. It's an African Asian community that put the Bible together. So how are we gonna do that? Egypt was run by black people too.
Yeah.
Cushites. Who are Cushites?
But yeah, back to that.
Sorry. But anyway, was that bit? So I was kind of right.
I mean, I do know, for instance, the Anglican Church in Liverpool.
Yeah, man.
And I know that because I know the people that
They
sort
went
of
to the slave museum.
Yeah, they did.
They popped in. They did a day trip to the slave museum and then saw the receipt of black people for. Hold on. It says child for £5 and so it's an adult for £18. Oh my gosh, this actually happened like this? Yes, it did.
Okay,
Re-education.
Roger, slow.
Sorry, I just have to get out of my chest because I get the guilt, but the guilt was there because of education. What do you mean?
It was, but I mean, for me, that was that was a step
in the right direction.
I mean, the church in Ghana, for instance, or the Anglican Church in that region admitted that, okay, this was the role we played in the slave trade. This was what happened. There was a demand and supply, or whatever theories people want to come up with. And I don't agree with the demand and supply thing.
They wiped out the Native Americans and they needed to replace them, and they replaced them with the lesser humans beings on this world, which were the Africans that were the son of a coming together of Ham and a monkey under Noah. That's what they got told, and that's what they believed, that we were 3/5 of a man. So they decided that because we were animals, they could use us as slaves. So
Roger's proper man today. Okay.
She's laughing because she's giggling because she knows it's true. But I'm just saying what I can say. I'm saying facts. You can correct me.
Okay, we're just going to pretend like this is good cop, bad cop.
Okay, cool.
And Roger's the bad cop.
Bad boy.
But but basically, I mean, what I was trying to say was that at least that was a conversation that started to be had. Okay,
that's good. Yeah, man.
That was a conversation that started to be had. It's not being had as much.
Have it with me. Why weren't I in the room? Invite me. Invite me to the room.
It's not being had as much, but we need to accept that an evil was done and lives were lost, dignities were stolen, and that's a whole history that you can't just simply erase and pretend like it's not there. Like on TikTok, for instance, I see people talking about Black history and what happened, and then you see in the comment section, this happened over 300 years ago, can't you get over it?
Where's my baseball bat, man? Where's my baseball bat?
I mean, I did see something like that about, and you see
okay, right, see that subject there, I'll just get over it, yeah? I get that vibe, I'll be honest with you, sis, yeah, from African people as well. They almost say that, you know what, Roger, just get over slavery, it happened ages ago. You know what I'm saying? Because you go to them and you kind of rub them about, you kind of sold us off, but they're like this, to get over it, man, it's from ages ago.
Which is unfortunate because...
But is that true?
No, it's not a thing to get over.
No, it's not a true statement, but do you feel that there's in the African community almost a case of them Caribbean people that just keep on raising this slavery issue, just let it go?
I don't think it's I don't think it's as simple as letting it go.
Okay,
because
cool.
we didn't. That's why I say I don't doubt that I understand slavery and all of those things. You can't just let that go. I mean, it's not a thing.
Can't.
But when it becomes an entitlement card for everything, then that's when it becomes a problem.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Some people make it a sense of entitlement that because you did this, and even black African people do it. The white man did this to us, so we can't do this. I mean, yes, it happened. It was a horrible thing. We need to talk about it. We need to address the consequences.
But we need to be moving forward.
And moving forward in the sense that we're not going to continue to let it hold us back. Not without talking about it and being real about the consequences and talking about mental illness, for instance, and mental health issues.
Okay.
But being real with it, with the fact that, okay, this was the division that was caused when Caribbean people were taken from Africa to the Caribbean on sugar plantations, and there were breeding grounds and all of these things, and people don't know about these things. A lot of people don't know about these things, and sometimes it's just simply ignorance.
Yeah. It's education. It's educated people.
But I mean, how many people want to go outside of the box? I mean, to truly understand the difficulties that you face. I'm willing to have conversations about it. That's why I just sit back and listen. Say that I can't put myself in your shoes and know what you went through, but I can empathize. And I can support the what do you call it?
Ally.
The move forward.
Move forward. You can be an ally.
Exactly. I can be an ally. But I mean, when it becomes a sense of entitlement from from either side, that you sold us out, so we're never going to like you, or you're never good enough, or this is who you are. Honestly, I'm going to go back to me going around talking to people about my research. I've been more enlightened than when I actually sit down to have my focus group discussion, because I'm hearing a lot of things. And it's very interesting. But until we can not move forward or understand that if we don't go forward together, we're never going to have to overcome these difficulties, because we are continue to pit ourselves against each other and say that you did this and you sold us. We need to have conversations about it. I mean, they will say
we need to come together. We need to say, get over it. Black Caribbeans, Afro slaves, we are Africans. Just get over it.
It's not as easy. Get over it is a little harsh.
Okay, cool.
Let's have conversations about it, but let's
look at the resemblance. Look who you look like the most. And even if I say it, I'm saying I'm more African than I am non-African. Until I take this DNA test. I wonder what's gonna come out.
No, you see, but I mean, it comes back to ignorance. People don't understand what do you call it? A lot of things about the different cultures, or appreciate that they are different cultures, or understand the background to it this happened. I mean, we're just there. We've heard about Jamaica. I don't think a lot of people actually even know that people who live in Jamaica or live on the islands were African too were taken to you'll be surprised that people do not know this.
But the thing is now, here's the scary thing is, the West Indians celebrate what makes them more white than are black. So they will be like, oh, guess what? My aunt is Scottish. You know what I'm saying? You got Scottish in your blood, like it's something good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But really, it's a slave master. But anyway, it's got it's really good. But I'm like, but you Ghanaian? No. I'm Jamaican. But hold on a second, you're begging the Scottish, you're begging the Indian, you're begging all these other cultures, but you're so, and this goes back to it, being black is seen as negative, and we need to debunk that. We need to celebrate blackness. We need to be proud to being black, and black, and this is what this station is about: black dignity in Christ. Which has been a separate argument. And when you're proud of who you are, it helps your mental health. You need to be able to look in the mirror and go, I'm proud of his lips, I'm proud of his noses, I'm proud of my hair. You know what I'm saying? My hair don't go down, but I'm cool. So you know what I mean? So it's just like all these
you see, I mean, as simple as we want it, there's just so much unlearning to do. And unlearning is difficult, so people would rather not unlearn. I mean, unlearning is a lot more difficult than learning. Imagine that you've learned how to say a particular. I mean, I was watching a video yesterday, and the shop Target in America, and the person was calling it Target.
Sorry.
No, it was a parody thing anyway. But imagine that you've learned how to say Target for like all your life, and somebody comes to tell you it's not Target, it's Target. How are you going to accept that it's target when all you know is target?
That's true. I've done things like that.
You have the number of years it takes to unlearn a thing.
Yeah.
And the effort it takes to unlearn.
So if you've got over 1,000 years of whitening of Christianity, to unwhiten the Christianity will take.
You
have a painful debunk.
It is, but so when people have to unlearn things, it's easier to just say, "Do you know what?
Just
I'm
move
just
on.
here. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Let's just move on. Let's move on."
That's why people say, "Let's get over it." It's not necessarily because they don't want to have the conversations. It's because the difficulty of unlearning something is such a painful process.
Traumatic.
Exactly.
It makes you look like a liar.
Yeah. You have to question yourself so much, question your sanity, question so many actions from behind. Is this why I do things the way I do? Like when I have to talk to my clients and I say, okay, so you learn this unhealthy pattern of coping with your stress, or coping with arguments, or coping with difficulties because of this and this and this, and your family background, and the way this person treated you, and the way you were dealt with in school, and all of these things. So now here's the thing about it. You have to unlearn. And unlearning starts with, you need to be able to forgive yourself. And listen, it's easier for me to forgive you, Roger, than for me to look introspectively and say that, okay, I was wrong here, but I need to forgive myself. It's one of the most difficult things to do. But that's where the breakthrough, you need to forgive yourself, and then you need to be willing to unlearn.
Okay, guys, right, we're running out of time right here, and I think me and Angela's getting too comfortable in this conversation here. We feel like we're just debating. We're debating hardcore and this. And guys, I have to do. I'm like, Roger, how do we get this? We not even started, you know what I'm saying? But this shows that basically, guys, you know, and I have to kind of go pull the brakes, because Angela is going to be coming back in. She'll be coming in back. I'm going to be making sure on a minimum a monthly basis, because we want to debunk the mental health we want to debunk. Is it debunk is the right word? Debunking mental health. Destigmatize mental health. We want to be doing this, and we want to have a conversation. And we're both from two different cultures. I'm born in England, from the Caribbean. Don't want nothing to do with England generation, you know what I mean? It was me not English, as I says, you know what I mean, and born here, but me not English, but I'm of Caribbean descent, and the Angela, who's of African descent, grew up in Africa, so it's amazing to have our.
I grew up in Ghana.
You say, sorry, Ghana. Get myself in trouble there. But anyway, but yeah, so it's beautiful to have this conversation, because cultures are great, and I think everybody who's listening in needs to, when you say the word black, we have to respect the diversity in our blackness, and we have to show the diversity of our journeys, you know what I mean? So it's not one fits all, and I think that everybody has to open up now and say, be real. Not everybody who's from the Caribbean is from Jamaica, not everybody from Africa is from Nigeria. Can I get amen over there?
Not everybody from, well, they just say Africa. We don't even say what country. People still think Africa is a continent. So.
Well, yeah. This is the thing is, and the diversity in Africa is absolutely beautiful, and it's crazy. You have, within one country, you got different types of people, different tribes, different looks, different this. Just West Africa alone, the Gold Coast, the amount of different peoples across this Gold Coast is absolutely crazy. And I think when we deal with the complexity of our black community, and we're going to be active with this, we could be looking at maybe debunking, developing programs. If you're a person out there, and you're in the Midlands, and you want to talk about your journeys, do contact us at the station. Do contact Angela, or we will be putting links to her survey and how to get in contact with her in the description of this video. And we do want you guys to we want to deal with some of the issues that you have. If you feel like you want to hit us anonymously, do that. We will be and there's some people that I work with that I will be bringing in and having talks with Angela. So we want to build this up now. We've set up a station to do something here. I believe that God's blessed us so we can be in conversation. I'm here to learn from a professional in the field, and you got a guy who's frustrated because of being affected because of how our community is stigmatized. I look after my physical health, and if I don't deal with that, it will damage me in a more extreme way.
That's in itself, as a sport, as a black person, is an alternative to men
therapy.
Dealing with.
It's therapy. Yeah. So I played my 5-a-side football and being with, and you know what? it's just good run to be around young men as well. You know what I'm saying? So it develops community together. You know what I mean? What you have to realize is that back in the day, going hunting was a young men and old men, and it's about passing on to the younger generation. Within our community, we've been we've just held on to our knowledge, and we died full.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's passed on, and that's definitely from my Afro-Caribbean perspective. And I always say to my African friends, I said, "What's your surname?" And they seem to be like, it's long. I said, bro, say it, man. Be proud of it, because you know who you are.
Because it's going to be crucified.
Because it's your identity. My surname is my surname. I say it too often, but people don't like it when I say it.
I do have a question before you end, Roger. Go. Is Afro-Caribbean a colloquial term? I did get told off for that, for saying Afro-Caribbean.
Is it?
Yeah. Because, well, apparently the person who told me from older generation said Afro is the hair, has to do with the hair, and then it was coined because you are from the Caribbean. Yeah. And then you have Afro hair, so that's why it was Afro-Caribbean, but it's a colloquial term and isn't used anymore.
So what do they use instead?
So it's just Caribbean or African Caribbean.
That's interesting still. I will look into that. But if somebody said to me, are you Afro-Caribbean? I say yes. And if they say it's quite insultive, I'll say, okay, just call me African. That's just, you know what I mean, African slave. You know what I'm saying? Just call me that. You know what I mean? So, so if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because I do.
Okay, Roger.
You know, so I know some black people have a problem with being called black. They rather be called brown. But anyway, still, yeah. So that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
but that's a whole different conversation. But no, that's how I feel. But I will do some research and I will ask around my black people. They're still because some of us are ashamed of our Afro hair. Some of us may want to have straight hair, so we don't want to emphasize the Afro hair thing anyway. But anyway, that's a whole other thing itself. I'll bring some of the young ladies to explain that to you anyway. So what straight perm did to our hair and curly perm. And anyway, but
it's easier to maintain, Roger, I can assure you.
Yo, trust me, I'm going, like when Angela first met me, I had no hair in it.
No.
I had no hair.
What have you been putting in your hair, Roger?
And when she comes in now and goes, what the heck's happened to your hair? When first met her, I had a ballad, like proper short. It's crazy, different in it.
Yeah, I kept looking at the picture on your screen. I'm like,
absolutely crazy, guys, absolutely crazy. But listen, guys, we're ending this off. Definitely, if you like and subscribe to the station, the YouTube channel, that'd be fantastic. So I have to do all this talk anyway. But yeah, definitely support us here on Infinity Extra. We do check out our Patreon because we want to build this up. We want to develop conversation and content through the Patreon system as well. So we're developing that. So please support us on the Patreon system because it's really important that we move forward as an organization. So it's real important for that, man. So enough respect for that anyway. So Angela, thanks for coming in, and I'll be dragging it in as much times as possible. I'll be texting you, coming in this week and be like, oh yeah, I'll come in, have a conversation. But this is all part of our therapy to get it off my chest. So I feel better now. So
so that'll be £50.
That goes towards the rent and my sponsorship link that goes into the description. I'll get that. So
and please, when Roger puts the link in the description, please sign up for my research. You get like a £10 Amazon voucher. It's just a 90-minute online focus group discussion commitment. It's not too much to ask. You just join a few other people to talk about resilience. You need to start
off with that. If you want £10 Amazon voucher, click this link.
Yes, please. That's all you £10 Amazon. I really should start with that, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that's how you sell things, you know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, we'll do that, man. We'll go hard anyway. So I'll get some youngsters on that anyway. So yeah, but this is Roger here on Infinity Extra alongside Dr. Angela Kumar.
Thank you, Roger.
And we're here celebrating gospel music of black origin, and also we're here to talk about the black journey. God bless you.
God bless. Bye.
Visit us for updates and shows at affinityextra.co.uk.